This time, no guns in hand. This is just a rant video, something that I think we're all aware of, but tend to forget about, or maybe quietly be okay with, that I'm not okay with and think should be addressed and probably brought up. That is the background check process. You see, recently I had 2 guns I was very excited to get in for review. Patrons, you guys should be seeing those any day now. And went in to do my background check. I have no problem doing a background check. Cool, I get it. If it helps keep guns out of criminal hands, sure. Now, whether or not a criminal deserves to lose one civil right but not all, that's a whole nother topic. The problem was the process, at least here in Oregon. It goes through the Oregon State Patrol, and generally, and I say this having done nearly weekly background checks for about 9 years now, generally I go through instantly, which in the modern age you think it should be. Right? I fill out a paper form, but that information is entered into a computer system and sent to the state police, who, using that information, should instantaneously be able to tell if I have a background or not, if there's any issue or not. The thing was, this time it got hung up. Fortunately, Oregon has a law that if the state police do not get back after 3 complete business days, so the day that I filled out the form, Thursday, did not count, Friday, then Saturday, Sunday didn't count, Monday, Tuesday, permitted me to pick up on a Wednesday. Because the line is super long. The law permits the FFL to then transfer the firearm if they haven't heard back, if they're willing to be responsible for and trust the person they're handing it to. Fortunately, I work with some really good folks, and I've been doing all of my transfers there for almost a decade. And we're talking, as I said, nearly weekly transfers, so they know me. They also know that if I was going to go crazy, it wouldn't be with something I just picked up. I have other options. But so that law in itself is kind of a trap. It's kind of an attempt to punish small shops. Because if you go to like a Cabela's or a Bass Pro or a big shop, they generally won't do that. And that's their prerogative. I mean, I wouldn't. If I don't know somebody, it's a complete stranger walks in, maybe I get a vibe from them or something and I haven't heard back. Nope, you gotta wait. And for some people that means waiting a really long time. Small shops are more likely to know their people. But if something happens, now they're stuck. It's an excuse to shut down small shops. But the thing that really gets me, and I think applies to all Americans, not just Oregonians, is what caused the hang up or the wait instead of the instant for me this time is the same thing that has caused it a few other times in the last 9 years, and that is that I was picking up a new model from a relatively unknown company. That coincidence reoccurring, and the fact that firearm information is on the background check, tells me that it has more to do with the gun than the person, and that's not a background check. You see, if they're truly just doing a background check of we the people filling out the form, the firearm information wouldn't need to be there at all. And really the firearm information serves no purpose whatsoever to check the individual's criminal background. So what could that firearm information be used for? I don't know, tracking, income estimating, looking at the potential activities of a person, what type of firearm is it that you pick up more often than not, things like that. And since all of this, of course, goes through the FBI database, the compilation of an illegal registry of firearms, which Congress already has a law prohibiting. I am all for the idea of a stolen gun check. I think that's great. If I go buy a gun, I need to know that it is not hot. And when I pick up a gun, I want to know that I'm not going to get later tracked down and accused for something because I'm using the firearm that was previously connected to a crime or is later connected to a crime. So cool. Do your stolen gun check. All for it. That should be a separate system. That should not be on the 4473. That should be a different form. And yes, of course, the government could correlate the time of when this gun was checked and when this background check was conducted from what locations and assume, but they wouldn't know for sure that it's you that picked up that gun. They would just know that that gun was checked at the same time that you applied effectively to pick up a gun. Think about that. That kind of irritates me, particularly because this is a violation of federal law to be creating a registry, which we can't necessarily say they're doing, although there have been sources saying that it's doing. This act alone isn't enough to prove it. But what the heck does the firearm I'm picking up have to do with checking my background? If the threat that they're looking to check on is the person, since it's already been proven, and I'm proving it right now, firearms themselves aren't the cause of crime. None of these guns are doing anything wrong to anyone at the moment. You want to check the person. Who is this person? So why do they need to know the firearm information? I'm not cool with that. Just my opinion. I would love to hear yours. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.